Hi, everybody, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Aldina, and I am the creator of Divinely Healing. So, today I wanted to talk about my self love journey and pretty much how I went from hating myself to now loving myself and accepting myself for who I am. When I was a little girl, I was very outgoing, very full of energy and full of life, and all I wanted to do was play and dance and sing and have fun. And somewhere along the way, that little girl disappeared and things became very serious, and I started dealing with depression and anxiety and low self esteem and very negative thoughts about myself. I'm going to be honest, I don't really remember exactly when all of that started, but probably around fifth grade to early middle school. And I can't really explain to you why I felt that way. I've always been overly sensitive and very sensitive to my surroundings and to other people in my environment. And something that I've really struggled with is differentiating my emotions and feelings and thoughts from other people's emotions and feelings and thoughts. I've held on a lot of pain and baggage from other people. And it's something that I wasn't really aware of until pretty recently, that I've been carrying this pain and trauma from other people. And that has always confused me. And I really hated myself, but I didn't really understand why. I just knew the feeling was there. I knew the thoughts were there. It may have been because I've always been so sensitive to everything, and it might have just been very overwhelming for me and I didn't understand it. So I put like this self hatred tag on that and thought that there was something wrong with me for feeling the things I was feeling and for being overly emotional and overly sensitive to everything. And because of that low self worth and low self esteem, I was more than okay with accepting crappy people into my life and accepting crappy friendships and just bad treatment from people because I didn't think that I was worthy of getting the respect, of enjoying and having fun and being loved. Now, of course, it wasn't until recently that that has changed for me. I still struggle with, intrusive thoughts, and sometimes my ego likes to come out and play and put some of those old thoughts back into my head about who I am when none of it is true. I am not a bad person. I am not less than others. I am not unwanted or unloved. I am not weak. I am capable of doing everything that I set my mind to, and I am capable of being loved and being wanted and opening myself to that love and new opportunities and a new life. And then after struggling with anxiety and depression for quite some time, I was then diagnosed with a autoimmune disorder in high school. So I was 17, so my junior year of high school. And I think that just added onto the self-hatred, the confusion of what it was that I was doing that was so wrong that things just couldn't go right for me. And I struggled with it for a very long time, and I've struggled with my autoimmune disorder for years now. And now, after struggling with that autoimmune disorder on top of the anxiety, the depression, the rage, the high stress, the living in survival mode, I can see now when I'm able to take a step back from it all and detach myself from all of those labels that I put on myself. I can see that by living in survival mode, by hating myself, and by not seeing my worth and thinking that there was something wrong with me, a physical illness had formed in my body to match that energy, to match those thoughts and those feelings. I can now see that holding on to all of these emotions that I felt growing up, not being able to open up and speak my truth, caused physical illness in my body. And it's crazy to think about, because we like to just think of illness and just that negativity as just some sort of luck, right? You got the short end of the stick. You were just unlucky. And I mean, I looked around at everybody around me, and I just couldn't understand why it was me that got that, why it was me that had to deal with that, why everybody else seemed happy, seemed okay, except for me. But now I can see that that is so far from the truth. Now that I'm healing more and accepting myself for this, for who I am, and not being sorry for it, I can see just how hurt everybody is and how much they crave that happiness but are not willing to put in the work, or are just afraid to change because they're so comfortable. As I talked about in one of my other videos, we become addicted to that negativity, to those feelings. If we feel them all the time, if we're living in survival mode all the time, we become addicted to it. And so when we try to get out of it, our brain starts freaking out, right? And that ego comes out and it's trying to bring us back into the safety zone, even though the safety zone is not where you should be, because growth is uncomfortable and you can't just always try to be comfortable because you're afraid of what's going to happen. And of course, as I talked about in my last video, I have attracted some toxic relationships. And it's because I wasn't willing to put in the work to heal myself, to see my worth. I was afraid to look in the mirror because I knew I wasn't going to like what was standing right in front of me. And so I don't really know what happened, but I turned 25, and maybe that's what it is, and my frontal lobe developed. And I was trying so many different things, and my relationship wasn't working. My health wasn't very good. And I was unhappy and stressed and angry. And I don't know what it was, but one day I woke up and I said, I cannot do this anymore. Like, I physically cannot take it anymore. My body cannot take it anymore. My brain cannot take it anymore. I cannot take it anymore. And I took the first step. And the first step was getting out of that relationship because I had made that relationship the center of my life. And I decentered myself and I put everybody else on a pedestal and I thought they were all better than me. And I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't. And it felt like that was the absolute rock bottom for me. One of I don't know, I've had multiple rock bottoms, but that felt like that last rock bottom that I just couldn't take anymore. I had absolutely nothing to lose. Nothing. Nothing to lose. I didn't care about a single thing in my life at that moment because I just knew I couldn't live like that anymore. And so I decided to stop living like that. I just decided, and there was no going back. And I was so afraid. I was so hesitant. I was sad. I was heartbroken for a very long time. And even now, to this day, I'm still not there yet, but I'm way better than I was before. And I'm over decentering myself and putting other people on a pedestal. Now I can take a step back and I can see all the mistakes I've made throughout my life. And the one thing that they all have in common is that I wasn't choosing myself, is that I wasn't loving myself, that I was putting everyone else around me above myself and thinking that I wasn't deserving of being happy and healthy and living a great life and being loved. And I gave my power to everybody else and allowed them to do and say whatever they wanted without any consequences. And I just took it. I took all of their pain and their hurt and their trauma and I made it mine. I took the breadcrumbs of love and respect that they left for me, thinking that that was normal and that that's what I deserved. And because I wasn't listening to myself, because I wasn't following my intuition, my inner knowing of things and how I was feeling, I allowed them to walk all over me. I allowed them to ignore me, to ignore my voice, my thoughts, my feelings. And now that I'm here and I can see things clearly, I can see things for what they really were, I cannot believe that I let so many people take my power. I cannot believe that I hated myself so much that I was willing to allow anybody to walk all over me. That I thought being overly sensitive was my weakness, was the worst thing about me. And I've put in a lot of work to change those thoughts, to change the way I see myself. I am not afraid of looking in the mirror anymore. I'm not afraid of opening up anymore, clearly. And I'm not afraid of being who I am. Because I'm tired of hiding it and pretending to be somebody else when it's not who I am. I am not a perfect person, and nobody is. and I have so many flaws. But that's okay. And it doesn't mean I'm less than, and it doesn't mean that I'm not worthy or deserving of living the life that I want, of being loved unconditionally. I now know that my sensitivity is just a strength of mine to be able to feel so deeply, to be able to be emotional and be connected to myself and to others around me, to the frequencies around me, to be able to know how people are feeling, to understand how I'm feeling. It's a gift. And I don't hate myself for it anymore. You are so strong. You are so capable. You are so worthy and deserving of having everything that you need and everything that you want from life. And if you're struggling with accepting who you are, I want you to know that we need you. We need so many different kinds of people on this earth, and we all have our own purpose, our own journeys, and we are all supposed to be here right now, in this moment. Once I stopped hating myself, life became so much more beautiful, so much more fun, and a lot easier. So please be gentle with yourself and know that you are more than capable of being loved. You just have to open up your heart to yourself and see just how magical you are. See the light that's within you that can shine through if you allow it to. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will talk to you again soon. Peace.